Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. I have to apologize to each and every one of you. I ran into a traffic jam this morning. I don't know whether they had a huge accident or what they had going on this morning, but it was terrible, man. I had to actually detour, and not just myself, but everybody, man. Traffic was backed up for miles, and it's amazing. They had a police officer directing traffic, and it's like he forgot about one side. He just kept for about 20 minutes. He was pulled in traffic from one side, just come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, and he just forgot about our side, man. And we were all just sitting there, and we became a little impatient. Where we had about 10 or 15 people just blowing the horn, just bomb. We're here, bomb, and he just. I don't know whether it was a power thing or what his situation was, but he didn't want to acknowledge our side at all. And I would have been here a little much earlier, much earlier. It's man, it's almost 8 o'clock, and I'm really just getting here. But I had no control over that, so I want to apologize to you all for my tardiness this morning. There was something going on, and I'm gonna look at the news later on, try to figure out what it was that was going on because they had police on both ends of the road and a main stretch. Excuse me, a main stretch. If anybody know anything about the Atlanta area over here on our scenic, there's a scenic highway. I think they call it 174 or something. I don't know those numbers, but got a caller. Let me see. Caller, good morning. How you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Morning, in the Kurt, man.
Kurt,
Charm City, baby.
good
Charm
morning.
City.
Good morning, Kurt. I was just explaining, man. I'm super late this morning, not because of myself, man, but because I don't know what was going on, man. The police had the road blocked off a whole stretch of them, and I was explaining scenic highway. I think it's 178 or something like that. I don't know those numbers, but they had a huge stretch blocked off, man. And traffic was backed up for miles, man. And
And he's looking for old buddy.
huh?
They might be looking for old dude, man. He might have made it up to Georgia or something.
I don't know what the situation was, man, but they definitely they had about 15 or 20 police officers with the road just blocked off, man, and detouring you to go this long, man. It's almost like they gave us a tour of the city to get us back to where we needed to be, but it is what it is. Kurt, we're gonna jump right into our topic this morning, man, because like I said, we're already super late, so we don't have time for the pre-topic that we usually do. Do you believe, Kurt? Do you believe the old terminology, old verbiage, birds of a feather, birds of a feather? Do you believe that?
You know what? I used to, and to a degree, that does ring true.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't so much anymore
Mm-hmm.
because and I'll tell you why. I believe that the world has gotten more comfortable and society has gotten more comfortable with people being individuals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, and it's gonna sound crazy because like, where I live at in Charm City, I see a lot of the migrations, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I think about that saying, right, I think about when I'm sitting out front of my house
Mm-hmm.
and I'm seeing a movement of birds. The lead bird don't fly like the tail bird.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The point bird, or what we were in the military, we call it a point man. The point man, he got a different stroke. You know what I mean? He got a different glide.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's different qualities about each of those birds, but they understand that collectively together they have a job to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, in today's world, man, things done change, man. It's susceptible for people to be individuals
Mm-hmm.
and to have their own thought and their own mindset. Most situations where you see where that's not acceptable for people to be individuals, it has everything to do with the folks in charge of that situation wanting the power.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So, like, I used to say that, and I used to fervently believe that. But then, like, I just had to look at, I really had to look at what's going on in the world today, and like realize that some things stay the same, but some things does have subtle changes to
Mhm. I'm gonna tell you something, Kurt, and we got another call. I definitely want to go to that call as well because I want to hear that person's viewpoint. But I kind of believe I kind of believe that still holds true. Though birds of a feather flock together. Because and the reason why I say this is because let's deal with on a spiritual level. If you have a person that's so deeply dove into the church, and that's what they are, and that's what they're doing in their life, it's gonna be real difficult to find that person hanging with somebody that's just out there going to the clubs and because they're gonna feel as though corrupt company corrupts. That's one of the things they say, corrupt company corrupts. And if you're so strong in the church and you're focusing in on God and that's all you're thinking about, when you got somebody that's coming in constantly trying to get you to do the worldly things, it places you in a place of discomfort. It places you in a place of discomfort. But let me do this. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Mute your line for me, Kurt.
Oh, that's me, Toya with the T. Good morning.
Toya with a T. Good. How you doing this morning?
Hello, hello. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Toya, I was super late this morning, man. They had some kind of traffic thing going on, man. And I spent at least about a good 45 minutes trying to navigate. Well, not just me, but everybody navigating through traffic and police holding us up and all kind of crazy stuff. But Toya, we getting right to the topic of discussion this morning. Do you believe that old verbiage, birds of a feather flock together? Do you believe that?
For the most part, yeah, there's a lot of truth to it.
Mm-hmm.
But they flock together for different things.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's rare, everybody don't do what everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a group of 7 of y'all. So all of y'all womenizers? No. It'd be that one guy that use women, and then all the rest of y'all do the things that y'all do. Y'all might together because y'all been from college and y'all all smart or y'all on the team or whatever. Like everybody on the football team are birds of a feather because they teach them this unity so that way they move as a unit. But that don't mean they do all of the same things. But they might roll together because they're a team. Yeah. Like we got to be real careful about the sayings because the sayings have some truth to it, but it don't write the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So,
excuse me. I can agree with. I can definitely agree with what you're saying and where you're going, but I have to say this as well. Ever since I was knee high to a grasshopper, I was on somebody's football team, and truth of the matter, there were some people on that team. We played together. We practiced together and all that stuff in a team element. But there are some people on that team I just wouldn't hang out with. After practice is over, I'm going my way, you go yours, and I see you practice tomorrow. And so I can understand.
Right, but
go ahead.
But do the people on the outside look at it like that?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
So it's the same thing in life. Like just because you got 5 sisters and brothers, you might not fool with your brother like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the outside is going to automatically look at the fact that because of the team that you come from, that y'all normally do the same thing. This is the misconception that a lot of us do. Yes. We look at TV and think that the stars is really like that, but they're on TV. They don't have no personality after TV. And that's not the case. But I'm a black sheep, or you call me a white bird, call me what you want to. But I done flock with all kind of groups because I love people. And I wasn't around them to do what they did.
Yeah.
I was around them because they need people to trust. And I need people to know that if you can't trust nobody, trust me. And I'm non-judgmental. We're going to talk about it. And I know that they did things that I didn't do. But I was there to be a light to the flock. Not to roll like the flock. You can think I'm like the flock if you want to. You're going to get food. But oftentimes, when I allow myself to befriend people or be in situations, it's not because I hung around homeless people for a whole year to build them up. Look like them, walk like them, talk like me, but I didn't put effort in dressing to the point where, I thought you dated this person, this, that, and the third. What? Do I look like a homeless person? I thought like a homeless person? So why would you think I was dating them? But neither here nor there. God had me there for a reason, man. He was humbling me. But that don't mean I was like them. I'm human, like any other flock that I might get with. But I don't eat the same food. I don't have the same feathers. And I move different. You understand what I'm saying? I'm an eagle. But I don't have no problem checking on the chickens, checking on the pigeons, checking on the crows. I'll roll with them. But I know when it comes time for me to soar, I'm higher than all of them. So, I don't believe in all of those things, brother of a feather flock together. They are true. They have some truth to it. And people are going to look at the flock as a whole. But when you know individuals and when you know truth, you know that everything is an individual, even the flowers.
That's good. That's good. And see, that's the thing, Kurt, that a lot of people don't understand. They can't differentiate between because I've heard somebody say, I heard a pastor on the pulpit said, and he made this determination. He said, I've never seen an eagle on the ground plucking with the chickens. They're in different places. They're on different plateaus. And so, if you ever were to see an eagle on the ground plucking with a chicken, you would think that eagle was out of place. Kurt, what do you say to that?
That eagle ain't on the ground messing with that chicken because he got good enough sense to know that he can't do nothing with that chicken on the ground.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Let's just keep that real. You understand what I'm saying? He knows his what's the word I'm looking for here? His
domain.
His survival instincts tell him, if I get on that ground with that chicken and we get into a dispute, that chicken gonna kill me. So that's why he don't get down there, to be truthful. But I'm rocking with Toya, man. Toya just sent something out the park, yo. She just put it in the Hudson River from the Bronx Zoo. Right? Look, most people that say that, most people that fervently believe that, and when I take your scenario into account, I mean, you got a point too, and I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in disagreement with you. I'm just expanding on my thought, right? First off, most of those people are nearsighted and closed-minded people who really don't want to put the work in to actually get to know another, to get to know anybody, for example. Two, from a spiritual perspective, and you say that, and you fervently push that, and if I was to take your example, right, then I could easily work devil's magic and enthuse people or coerce people to not fellowship, right? If we go with the ideology and we stand on birds of a feather flock together, and we stand on that as being just completely right, then is it okay for me to say that Jesus was wrong when he came and sat amongst the drunken, the thieves, the tax collectors? I mean, I'm just saying. Is it right for me to say that Yeshua, the Son of God, whom we follow every day, was wrong when he shared his time, his space, and his energy with that collection of people and didn't go and sit with the church? Now, what I like to say, because I've seen those type of people right here, and I remember my grandmother telling me one time, baby, the minute the church get away from the people is the minute the church will perish.
Yeah.
The church can't get away from the people because the people are sinning. Because the truth be told, that same Bible thumping, I don't want to be around no sinner and nah. Put a camera up in their house, or slide a recording into their brain.
Say that.
None of us are without sin.
Hey Kurt, what's that thing?
None of us.
How does that thing go? And we got Donald Toussaint with us as well. I know he would know it as well if we don't. Toya, I know you know what it is. What's that thing people say? Use too earthly something to be no heavenly. What? How did saying go?
Hold on.
You
might want to go to Toya Donna. I didn't hear enough of the keyword.
You too heavenly minded. You're no earthly good.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Yeah. And so
you're so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good.
Yeah. And so people get so caught up in that, and so man, this I'm loving this topic already. Let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Pretty good. Just pretty good. How about you all? Good morning.
Good morning. Tell everybody where you're from, brother. That's exactly where you're from. Mississippi. That's exactly where you're from. Absolutely.
And look, check this out.
Yes, sir.
I'm planning on my retirement. And when I retire, I promise you that's where I'm gonna be from, because ain't nobody gonna be able to find you.
Ain't nobody gonna be able to find you. Exactly. Now we know we might not be able to find you, but you still calling in, doing it from wherever you at.
Depends on how much money I wind up with.
There you go. Hey, we're talking about this morning. Birds. Do you believe that verbiage, birds of a feather flock together? Do you buy into that?
I had to think about it. It's something that was just said, but I had to think about it. Have you ever seen a bird fly by itself?
All the time.
Eagles soar high. So I don't know. Sometimes birds just flying together because of the weather. They just going south, and they just happen to see some other birds going south.
Wow. Just so happened. We're going the same way. Johnny, come on over here, fly with me, Johnny. We're going over here. Don't need you flying by yourself, Johnny.
Yep, just like the pigeons in the park when it's time when it's bread eating time.
Ain't that something?
Come on.
And why does the seagull cry out when he ain't got but one piece of bread?
Okay.
Seems like he want to keep that to himself, but he making noise, calling his friends.
Exactly.
And they go to fight over
it.
All they do is keep his mouth shut.
If he would shut up. I was noticing that. You ever see dead birds after a storm?
No.
Any dogs or cats laying around?
Okay. I see where you're going. Yeah. Okay.
What?
Have you ever seen them?
Have I ever seen them personally? No.
A storm or hurricane? Gee.
But see,
have you ever seen? After Katrina.
See, Don, you gotta understand. We from a different place. Now you from down the way. Y'all get more storms than we get up on this end up here now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But there seems like, I'm just, maybe somebody from the South can tell me any different. Even in New Orleans, after the storm, we don't see no dead animals in the street. Might have dead people trying to save their property.
Yeah. So they leave. The animals smart enough to get out of there.
Animals gonna get on to that house.
Maybe we should pop. They be gone.
Yeah.
They be gone. No, we want to be, last one to witness. We want to see it. After Katrina, my son had just bought a little puppy, and it took us about a week and a half to get back home. And so when we all got back to the house, I looked at the neighborhood, and it looked like a war zone. I went in the shed. I had put enough food for the dog for a couple of days, thinking so it was going to take me a couple of days to get back. But it took about a week and a half to get back home. And when I got to looked at the situation, I had somebody's deck in the back of my yard. The fence wasn't torn down, but I had a deck in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I said, let me go bury the puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know, when I opened the door to the disaster of the shed in the backyard, that puppy was just wagging his tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he survived it.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the disaster of the people. Some of them, they on top of the roof. They laying on a car dead.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't never seen a dog or a cat.
Bird and any all of them gone. They leave.
Birds. Sure enough, birds.
Mm-hmm.
They been south.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Basket. They don't be hanging around. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe just perhaps they go in there because they just see other birds look like them going south for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got a serious point, Raheem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I seen an interview on YouTube, I think it was. You know how the reporters, you know, when you have a major disaster or whatever, reporters kind of get in the field and they interview the people or whatever. Do y'all remember that tsunami back here? It was years ago. I want to say it was almost 10 years ago when the tsunami hit.
Mm-hmm.
And the reporter was interviewing this dude. And they basically asked the dude, you know, hey, you know, you was right in the heart of it. Because the dude was staying at a resort that was right there on the beach. And they asked and they said, so did you go for higher ground? He said, yeah. So the reporter asked the dude, well, how did you know that? Are you like an archaeologist? Or, you know what I mean? Are you somebody who work in the field and you just automatically knew whatever? The dude looked the reporter right in his face. He said, look. He said, I came out of my hotel. And when I came out of my hotel, they said, I seen a couple goats. They was going one way. He said, I looked up in the sky. I seen the birds going in the same direction. He said, I still didn't move. He said, until I seen this dog. And the dog come running past me full speed, following the bird and the goats. So in his mind, his survival technique told him, you better follow them animals.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So he followed the animals to higher ground, and that's how he made it through.
Yeah.
But then I heard a comedian make a joke about it and said, if you see, man is the smartest person on the planet, but we can be common sense. We can seriously lack it. The comedian said, if you come out on the beach, you at a resort. When you was out here yesterday, the beach was almost right up to your balcony. And then you come out the next morning and that beach 50, 60 miles away from where it was yesterday. That should tell you, common sense wise, hey, something different.
Yeah.
Something about to happen. You know what I mean? So, I mean, paying attention, you know, sometimes, man, just we don't pay attention just because we humans. We think we got all the answers. We don't. We think we know everything about the ecological system. We have no clue. And we justify not knowing a lot of times. We'll justify not knowing to maintain control as if we are God figures. Ain't none of us God.
Exactly.
You know, I thought y'all made me think about another really, really good text. You remember the text when Jesus approached the well? And the woman at the well, hold on, was it Jesus or was it Moses? I think both of them did it. When they approached the well, and there was a woman at the well, and it wasn't normal for a woman to be at a well by herself. You know what I mean? Because the women would all go and draw the water at the same time. So when asked, basically, why are you at this well by yourself? The woman basically says that, in so many words, I am an outcast. For whatever reasons, I am an outcast. And the response is, well, can I have some water and bread? Well, I only got enough for my family. Okay, hold on. I don't think you understand who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, I guess my question is, can being an outcast be a greater blessing to you than being in the in crowd?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons from personal, I'm going to go to Toya with a T and find out what she said about this as well. But one of the things, I've always been a soloist, man. I've always been a soloist. Even school when I got my first car and stuff like that, man. My brothers, they used to have 3 or 4 people riding the car with them in their cars. But man, you see me coming, I'm coming by myself. I'm by myself, and I pull up by myself. I leave by myself unless I pick up a little something when I'm there. You know what I mean? But otherwise, I've always been a soloist, man. I flew to I spread my own wings and fly and fly, or I guess you could say dance to my own beat or whatever. But Toya with the T, talk to me. What do you say to that?
Oh yeah, I've always danced to the beat of my own drum, honey.
Mm-hmm.
My father, listen, I'm a baby at 5.
Mm-hmm.
My father was real honest with me about life and God and people. And everybody ain't gonna be the same. And just because they're your blood, don't mean that they're gonna move like they're your blood.
Exactly.
So you need to be real careful. As long as you got God, as long as you got Jesus, as
Mm-hmm.
long as you got me, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But don't look to people because of titles and because of positions and think that they're gonna mean the most or the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
So my mindset from a young, early age was different. I always loved the story of Jesus to be different. And if I got to be the only one to save the world, save the family, move how I move, then I'm cool with that, because it was explained to me early that everybody, they into their own things. Everybody don't want to be birds.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't want to flock in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get mad if you the eagle and they the pigeon. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is. And sometimes you just got to do what you do, whether it's family, friends, or whoever. You know what I mean? So for me, I always like being different. I always like being a helper. You know what I'm saying? I always like testing who God said I was, who my father said I was. If you can't push that mountain down, you better go find a way. So that's always been my insight on exercising and living in life. And if you ain't rolling with me, then oh well, it ain't no sweat off my back, and sure ain't no feather out my fin. I mean, a feather out my arm. You understand what I'm saying? So it's always been. I guess I've always had a eagle mindset, but you got to be careful because an eagle is still a bird.
Yes, absolutely.
And sometimes a bird mentality ain't a good mentality to have, but it's to each individual, Raheem. And I think that, we should teach our kids, first of all, if they're too young, you got to be careful, because you're going to get them confused with old McDonald, and they're not going to know what they are and who they are. So you got to make sure they're of a certain age to be able to understand. But you got to teach them to be who they are. There are new species every day. We talk about sharks. We talk about doggy dog world. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things, man, that we can put out here. And the last thing, somebody probably going to want to be the bird. But I think if you explain to your child the greatness that they are, the God that they are, ye are gods, Psalms 81, I think it is, where he says, ye are gods. If we focus on telling them who they are and God, and they'll know that they're above and beyond all things, and that their job is to bring other people up, then that's the only thing that can take them, because you mess around and get food and thinking that you're a pelican or
exactly
or something like that.
Exactly. Wow. Donna Tucson, let me ask you this question. If you are a pigeon, say you are a pigeon and hanging amongst other pigeons, and those pigeons start to envy those eagles because they can fly so high, they so powerful, they so strong. and jealous and envy started pouring into the group of pigeons. Should you be amongst those, or should you go out on your own?
Wait a minute.
Okay. We're on pigeon talk now, Don.
You know, one thing about scavenger birds, and eagles don't hang out with pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Fly too high.
Mm-hmm.
The birds of prey might get ate up.
Come on.
Eagle eat pigeons. Eagle eat birds. Hawk does too.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't hang out together. That might be a lesson for us.
Come on.
That's why we get ate up.
Mm-hmm. Devoured.
We ain't got no business with.
Come on.
With eagles or
Mm-hmm.
ducks or dodo birds.
Lord Jesus.
You know, is there such thing as a dodo bird?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just what we say.
No, yes, there is a dodo bird.
No, that's a real bird.
That's a true animal.
It's a real bird? Yeah.
That's a real bird. Dodo bird is a real bird.
Mm.
They don't hang out with eagles. I know that.
No, they don't.
We can't. So I guess that's a lesson for us, man.
Yeah, we need to pay attention to the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I was trying to what you were talking about, that Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the guy. I say guy, the prophet.
Mm-hmm.
That the Lord told to go hang out at the widow's house. And ravens don't feed you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway.
There's a story where you was going, Donald. There was a story right there where you was going, brother. There's a story. Yeah, there's a story there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But see, we have to pay attention to certain things that everything has the potential to be obedient to God, but man.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Ravens don't feed you.
Mm-hmm.
But Elijah, in that story, was told, go get by the brook,
mm-hmm.
because Ahab looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry about really Ahab. Just tell him it ain't gonna rain and it ain't gonna have no dew. Now, here's the deal. Here's this brave preacher that tells 400, I think, and 50 prophets to meet me on Mount Carmel, and the God that answers by fire, let him be God. And they go to, and he's brave there. And it's just crazy to me how brave and he stood his ground. But this little old woman called Jezebel.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't fool with Jezebel either.
Birds of a feather shouldn't flock together, huh?
Man, you get to stepping. I ain't gonna hang around.
Exactly. Let me do this. Let me go to Curtis, and some would say, and where y'all are going right now, I'm walking with y'all right now. Birds of a feather should does not flock together, or I guess should flock together. What about race? When we're dealing with race, if we're talking about the eagles, the hawks, we're talking about the dodo birds, we're talking about the pigeons and the chickens, those are all breeds. Should they stay within themselves? And you got some people that quote unquote say that they're Christian, that say that they practice Christian principles, but they also say that certain people should not mix. Stay with your own. Should not mix. Stay with your own.
Oh, yeah.
And they say they're Christians. They say they follow Jesus, but at the same time, they say certain people, the birds of a feather should flock together. So you stay with your own. Don't come over here with us. We're not coming over there. We're not mixing. Curtis, what is that mindset?
You know, I don't quite know how to even answer that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mindset, whatever you want to call it. You know, the greatest power on the planet is love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You love who you love, man. You know what I mean? And if y'all got a mutual love for each other, then I think that is more powerful than anything man can deem inappropriate or whatever, man. I mean, we all know the truth. We all know what has happened to our culture over the years. We know it front, back, side to side. But I still can't help but understand that the things that have caused change in our given society, you know, when you look back on it, you know, it's surrounded by love. And sometimes, man, when you look at it, to push in the opposite direction and to want you to stay in your own little silo and this, that, third is really waged in power and control. You know, I think about something Donald said when he was talking about the pigeons, and you know, I'm from a city where, you know, flipping birds is you know, was big. You know, that was like the hobby of all hobbies. Me and Toya, actually, because Toya from New York, right?
Yes.
So she may know a little bit about it. Just, you know, Toya, you remember, you know, everybody had a pigeon coop on the top of the building. You know what I mean? And cats would be flipping birds. And although we look at the pigeon as the lowest of the bird, you know, as of the bird culture almost. And like Donald said, they don't fly as high and this, that, and the third. It's a reason. Donald's absolutely right. It's a reason for that. But if you ever want to understand truly how a bird maneuvers, how he flies, the best one to look at is the pigeon. And he the bottom on the totem pole. You know, if you really want to understand how a bird survives from day to day, the best one to look at is the pigeon, in my opinion, because he is on the bottom. A pigeon ain't gonna fly over a body of water and call itself picking up no fish. Oh no, no. But when you growing up, man, I used to see guys. I used to actually make a little money, you know, like in the evenings, helping guys clean out their pigeon coops, or, you know, because of where my house was at, my guy had a pigeon coop in his yard, and where my room was at, I could look right out my back window and see his coop. So he would slide me a couple dollars just to make sure that I look out the window at night, make sure ain't nobody, you know what I mean, in his pigeon coop taking his birds. So, you know what I mean? Like, man, I used to watch him where, like, he would let out all of his tipplers, right? He would let them out, or he would let out all his rollers. And we would watch him fly, man. I used to watch him. I used to be like, man, wow, these cats is like acrobats, like they Cirque du Soleil in the air. You know what I mean? But now, if you take that same tactic or technique and you try and get an eagle or a hawk, you know what I mean, a pelican or any bird that fly, to try and do what that pigeon do, man, they'll die. They'll break their neck. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes, and in most cases, the best lessons you'll learn is from the people at the bottom.
Wow. Toya with a T, talk to me. That's yeah. I'm with you. Absolutely. Toya with a T, talk to me. Sis, what's on your heart?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, we did used to have those pigeon coops at the top. Sure did. People would send letters by them, and that was when humans used to befriend animals. Now we just stomp on the ground at them and say, shoot. We don't pay pay the animals attention. I want to do these people know that we're supposed to be paying attention to the animals for those reasons, like they said, the storms. We do animals so bad now, they're going to run off and leave us.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to fly when something happens and just be, no, we just going over this way. Y'all stay here with y'all dumb selves. You come through, you tear down all the trees. We don't have no place to go. You messing up all the signals and got going on. Now we just going to go right on over here. And y'all stay right on over there where y'all at. Because in a minute, the birds is gonna get most, the animals gonna get more sense than us because we special.
Exactly.
But that was a time where we used to try to care for the animals. We tried to attempt to be one with the land. You know what I'm saying? But we don't see that anymore. We're so distracted. We don't even have our natural things that tell us what's going on. Back in the day, the Indian healers or the African healers, they knew stuff. They can pick up dirt, drop it in the air, know which way the wind blows. Like, there were so many things they can do with them and with the animals that, I mean, we couldn't even begin now. Like they could use things and put it next to you and, did that. Oh, well, that means you got this, that, and third. Let me give this, and the third. Like, we're getting so far away from nature and the earth that we don't understand what it means anymore to deal with these animals because we're so clung on to these sayings. But something about these sayings that disturbs me, and my father, and the pastor just talked about the other day too, my father used to say that too about these sayings. About saying things that ain't even from the Bible. It ain't even what God said.
Yeah.
But we hold on to these things 20, 30 years, but forget all about the scriptures. And I was doing some research. Some guy named Oliver somebody is the one that said that you're so heavenly minded that you are no earthly good.
Yes.
And it wasn't, a Bible verse, but it was some things in the Bible that made them gather that information. But we teach and we go by these sayings by grandma and mama and daddy and them, and we talk about birds and then wonder why a lot of people can't identify. And this made me think about it because the other day we was talking and somebody was like, well, the verbiage y'all using, I don't understand it. These conversations, again, are hard for some people to understand. This is a hard conversation for a kid to understand about being a bird when he just learned about being a boy. You understand what I'm saying?
So still learning that.
Some of these conversations that I'm just saying, some of these conversations that we be having, I think we need to be we need to break them down, right? Because even when people come from other countries, they so busy just learning regular English. Then here we go with these metaphorical sayings, and it's like, what? What? We being a bird? I just became a citizen. What are you talking about being a bird? You know what I'm saying? So everybody don't get it. But definitely we need to have conversations about some of these old sayings that are not scripture, but can coincide with scripture and are very imperative to the flight of life that we live.
Exactly.
To break it down to us, because I think some people may not be responding because maybe, they don't understand or never heard. And, you're nationwide. So some of these sayings that we're using in American terms, probably are hindering some people from calling in. So I definitely think that this conversation is not only needed, but it's helping to bridge the gap with people who probably don't understand, this language and know how to compare it to their specific religion. So I appreciate you pulling out these titles and how we're talking and picking them out now.
I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate you as well. So and yeah. She look, Toya just put something out there, boy. Look at it. Hold on. Let me go to Tucson. I'm gonna circle right back around to you. Hold on, I don't want to leave that brother out. Tucson, what's on your heart, man? Tell me, because Toya just put something out there, man. She just put something out there. She really did. What's on your heart, Tucson?
I'm listening because I knew we was gonna get to something that we was talking about, but we have to be careful about who family that prays together stays together. The Bible says
Godliness is close to cleanliness is close to godliness.
No, it didn't.
I ain't never seen that in there. I ain't never seen that in there, man. They've been saying it for years, but anyway, go ahead, Tony.
I'm reading. Y'all got me reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew we was gonna get there, but I'm looking for something else. So, for instance, this is what I'm looking for. As an eagle stirs its nest, and so we look at the eagle, and this is what messes me up about some of our parents. Let me say a twofold thought that I have. I'm using big words this morning. Y'all got me using big words.
Come on.
Consider the ant. There's a passage of scripture
that's
before the ant, and it talks about a bird from the fowl, a bird catcher. And so we can learn from animals. We can learn a lot from them. We're so smart, but when it really comes down to it, even scripture says, okay, you're so smart, but you're lazy. If you really want to accomplish something in life, go down there and look at the ant. Little thing. But he don't have no leader. We always looking for somebody to guide us.
Come on.
Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. I'm just saying, sometimes we flocking with the wrong people, and that's why we don't ever get nowhere. You see what's happening. I got a door knocking, and I got a phone ringing.
Yes, sir. Good deal. I'll come right back to you in a second or two. Curtis, I know I said I was going to come to you, but we got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Rico calling from Anderson, Alabama, man. Grand rising, everybody.
Good morning, Rico. How you doing this morning?
I can't complain, man. Getting these 5 miles in, a little cooler this morning, like 20 degrees cooler than it was yesterday.
Yes, sir. Man, it's cold out there this morning, man. It's cold. Compared to what I'm used to, you know, it's really not cold, but compared to what we're used to, it is. Rico, I need to ask you.
Man, it ain't even October yet, man. We still supposed to be going through heat waves and having heat problems right now. It ain't even October yet, man.
Exactly. It's gonna be the one that could be might be looking like it's gonna be pretty interesting. But Rico, let me ask you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be over.
Exactly. Let me ask you this question. And tell me what you feel about this, man. Birds of a feather flock together. Do you buy into that verbiage?
I mean, it's true. You know, whatever you indulge in, embrace, condone, favor, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna link with people that do the same things because you need to feel comfortable in your skin. So, you know, if you like dealing with people that work on computers, you know, I tell people all the time that Bill Gates had investors. And all of those investors that he had that got rich along with him, that got wealthy along with him, they had something in common, and that was tech. So, you know, you really can, you know, I think I've heard the saying before, show me your friends and I can show you your future. That's true. That's very true. So, you know, it really is an indicator about what you stand for and what you believe in. You know, you hear people say all the time, well, just because she do it don't mean I do it. Yeah, but you might have an urge. Because one thing about it, if people are doing something that we disagree with or that disgust us, we're not going to continue to indulge in it or entertain it. We're not going to sit back and get an eyeful of watching 2 men have sex if we don't like watching 2 men be together. We're not going to sit back and hang out with 2 men and hugging and kissing or 2 women. We're not going to hang out with people that we know like talking to children like R. Kelly because we know we're going to have to ignore that. We're going to have to be a witness or we're going to have to be present for that type of atmosphere. You know, so you get to a situation where if you do start condoning it and embracing it for whatever reason, maybe it's because of the 6 degrees separation from a celebrity, or maybe because they're paying you well. Sooner or later, you're going to indulge. And if you don't indulge physically and mentally, you're still okay in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's to say that after a while you sit back, you looking at this celebrity? I mean, we look at the people that was flying the girls out of the country for Jeff Epstein, the pilots. They saw it and didn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, I figure if they were comfortable enough to continue being around it, they probably would endorse themselves.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And that's so true. And I said earlier about corrupt company will corrupt you. If you're hanging out with them, eventually it's gonna pour over on you, and you're gonna find yourself in that same situation doing the same things that you look down upon in the beginning because of the fact that you made yourself accessible to it. Curtis, you had something on your heart, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I was when Toya was talking, she made me think about I heard when the first time I ever played anybody on stage that had anything to do with the civil rights movement, it was Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, I was doing my research on Malcolm before, doing the rehearsals and all that. And I heard Malcolm say in a speech one time, he said, if you look at the history of man, you'll see that mankind has never had a nonviolent revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Mankind has never had a nonviolent movement that spoke against the powers of the masses and the maladaptive treatment of the few, right? Or the many, my fault. So as I got older and started digging into my Bible, I found that the only nonviolent revolution actually was a movement of animals.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's crazy to me how closely animals are connected to the natural spirit of God and nature.
Mm-hmm.
Because when given the option to choose self over the preservation of all, most animals will choose the preservation of all over themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, we are deemed or taught to believe that we are so much greater in mind than animals. I mean, if you really think about it, right, and you look at the scripture,
Kurt, how is in regards and this is something that came from what you just said intellectually. How is it gauged? How do you gauge it? Because a lot of things that animals do. If you really gauge it, is very intellectual. I saw ants. And Donna said something about ants earlier. I saw ants in my front yard. And they was coming down my driveway. You know how you have those little indents for the weather, the little gaps in the pavement or whatever it is, so it can expand. And the ants, they was carrying stuff, but they was walking inside of those holes, those things, so that they would not get stepped on. Because if had they walked on a regular pavement and somebody walked by, they're gonna step on them. But they was inside those craters, if you will, and they was moving stuff back and forth inside those craters. I sit there and I watched it for a while. I said, man, that is so intelligent. They're doing what they have to do, but they're also keeping themselves out of harm's way while they're doing what they have to do.
Right.
That's intelligent to me, man. So and my question is, how do we gauge it?
That is beyond intelligence. The Asian community has been engaging animals for years. That's pretty much how they come up with their different fighting techniques.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody literally sat down and watched the monkey, watched the tiger, watched the ant, watched the crane,
Shaolin, yeah,
and watched them in.
Yeah, Shaolin. That's Shaolin principles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And watch them in their natural habitat. Watch them in the situation where, okay, they're being attacked,
mm-hmm.
right?
if you just pay attention to the animals will basically teach you how not only to defend yourself, but how to survive. One of the things that I learned over the years, like I said, when I thought about what Brother Malcolm was saying, is that when you read the scripture canons and texts and you read the story of the flood, right? The story basically tells us that Noah and his sons assembled animals 2 by 2. Now you have him assembling animals, beast and prey, right? You don't hear about a bunch of chaos. You don't hear about a bunch of drama, a bunch of foolishness. And then I looked at there's what in film and photography, there's what you call a money shot, right?
Yes.
And a money shot is basically the shot that everybody want to get, or you think everybody want to see. And I was reminded of a money shot as far as the animal kingdom is concerned. And the money shot, as far as the animal kingdom is concerned, if you really pay attention, has always been and always will be the shot of a buffalo maybe coming out of the water or getting water or just finished drinking water at a waterloo or watering hole. In the background is an elephant. And on the buffalo's antlers, I don't know if you call them buffaloes, I don't know what they call. They look like a stripe between a buffalo and a bull. But in that shot, sitting on that buffalo's horns is a bird. Or you got the bird sitting on top of an elephant. And he ain't trying to shake them off. He ain't trying to disturb them. They are mutually in agreement with, we are all here at this watering hole. We are all thirsty. We're going to get something to drink and we're going to chill out.
Good deal. Good deal. Absolutely. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. What's on your heart? Toya with a T, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just transitioning from one room to another.
Okay.
But
Toya, let me ask you. Let me ask you this though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said earlier about, and we're talking about birds of a feather that flock together. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. I spoke earlier, Toya, about people, and they saying birds of a feather flock together. And you got certain individuals that say that they're Christian or say that they're Muslim, say that they're whatever they are, but say that, we need to stay with our own. You black folk don't need to be mixing with these white folks. You Latino people don't need to be mixing with these Indian people. All this, birds of a feather flock together. What do you say about that mindset when they say that we need to separate and stay amongst ourselves, amongst our own?
Foolish, crazy, definitely not true God-like people.
Come on.
Because if God started separating us, some of them low supremacist folk might be in trouble, and they grandkids too. No, but I get it, right? Because parents used to say to us coming up that those are not your kind of people.
Wow.
And they was the same color. We didn't really deal with white people, but when we dealt with our own people, and there were people to be aware of. See, the generation before us were so kind and respectful that they didn't talk about people the way we do. We gonna flat out call you B's and H's now. They wasn't gonna do that. They just gonna say, baby, those not your kind of people.
Yeah.
This, that, and that. And you didn't know that family over there was into encouraging early sex, and that family knew about their sons that was raping and molesting. You know what I'm saying? But there's a spirit that come with those people that our people was just gonna be like, no, that's not our kind of people, baby. Okay, and it kind of goes to what we're talking about, right? Because remember they used to call girls chickens and birds about 10, 15 years ago, and then we started adapting these things. And see, that's kind of what it is. What kind of bird are we gonna be? If we gonna be birds, is we gonna be eagles? Is we gonna be the little brown chickaboo birds that be with the pigeons? What is the name of them birds that be with the pigeons? I don't even know. But what you gonna be? You gonna be a pigeon? You gonna be a pelican? You gonna be a flamingo? What? And the difference, just like we just talked about with these birds, is the difference in people. So white people might feel like they're eagles in store. They might feel like we're pigeons, but that's fine with you. You know, do a seagull know it's a seagull? See, that birds you can't even comprehend. But do it know it's a seagull? Do it know it's not an eagle? You know what I'm saying? So you can think whatever you want to think. You know, the bird can think. You could be a parrot. You bark. You think you're a dog. That don't mean it's true. But we have to find out who we are as individuals. And when you find that class, you got to get with that class. But even in that, let's say white people did think they were eagles. They thought we were pigeons. Black people still got to rise ourselves up. We got to look in the mirror and find out, am I a pigeon? Or am I eagle? Or am I eagle that someone just taught me that I was a pigeon? Am I eagle that someone just kept in the cage so I couldn't fly? That's why I can't soar. You understand what I'm saying? There's different circumstances to animal life, especially dealing with humans. And the human is always going to try to take away who or how powerful something is. No, that's not an eagle. It's a bald eagle. And we're going to keep it here so we can test it and see whatever. And we're going to do this and third. And here you got the eagle in a cage for a year, and then it can't fly a year later. Oh, yeah, that's not a regular eagle. It's a bald eagle because you didn't cage it. And because, you know, fly, now you done made a bald eagle because you done kept them in captivity for a year. And the way things grow, he done forgot how to fly. You know, so us humans, we can be some fickle individuals. And this power that God gave us, the dominion that God gave us to say, create, name all things, man, we take advantage of that. And we like to tell pigeons, oh, well, you know, you can't soar or you can't this. But wait a minute, this is the same human beings that took lions out of captivity and trained them to be one and be a spectacle for people to come watch. So why can't you teach a pigeon to soar? You know what I'm saying? Like, we like to classify and put things in boxes and separate the natural law of what God says things are. Have you ever seen a dog? Deers don't normally fool with folks. But you ever seen a dog and a deer click up? Have you ever seen a dog and a cat click up? But they say they're not supposed to get along?
Yeah.
Like, the way things are supposed to be or can be is something that we don't even allow to be.
Exactly.
Oh, get out of here, scram, cat. Or if you can't get it to be cool with you, the deer, and it get cool with the dog, oh, get out of here. You know, we humans, man.
Yep.
We always going to change the dynamics of these things and can't let them be what they be. So, you know, I don't believe in everybody has their class and, you know, keep people in a specific class because of who they are. I feel like this. God know what he's doing.
Exactly.
God is going to anoint a family or a flock for you because he knows the truth of the true flock. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, just believe in your creator and he's going to appoint you to the proper flock because some of these flock herds and flock heads, they don't be doing the right thing. So just try to find out, God, what kind of bird you are, what kind of animal you are, and go from there. Because us humans, we some fickle individuals.
We are a mess. You ready to go to Rico because I want to hear what he has to say about this as well. But I want to do my little birthday shout out. You know, we're gonna start doing a little birthday shout out, celebrity birthday shout outs. And if anybody have all y'all are celebrities to us. The way we see it, all y'all are celebrities. Some people are in that spotlight or whatever. But if you know somebody and you want to wish them a happy birthday, make sure you give us a call. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Go down the list right now. I got a few names here on the list. I want to say Jordan Wood. She's 23 years old. She's on Instagram. She's supposed to be an Instagram star. Anthony Mackie, y'all might know him from a lot of great movies. 42 years old today. JD for Jermaine Dupri. He is 48 years old today. The late great Ray Charles, birthday is today. Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen, y'all might know him. They call him the boss. 71 years old today. Matt Hardy, he's a wrestler. All y'all wrestling fans. Matt Hardy is 46 years old today. Happy birthday to each and every one of them. Country singer Willie Jones. Willie Jones, that's a brother, that's a country singer, 26 years old today. I bet none of y'all ain't never heard none of his music. I bet y'all ain't never heard his music. Toy, you ever heard from Willie Jones?
Nope. I done barely heard of Roy Jones, so we're doing good.
Exactly. And we got one, and Rico, this one here is for you, brother. I got one for you, Rico. You with me?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay, Lisa Ray McCoy, 53 years old today. Everybody know Lisa Ray from Players Club and a lot of other great movies.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, everybody know about Lisa Ray. Her birthday is today. She is 53 years old today. Rico, what do you say about these individuals, these people that say, stick to your own? Birds of a feather flock together, so stay with your own. Black folks, you stay with your black folk. White people, stay with your white people. Latinos, y'all ain't got no reason being with the Indians, and Indians, you stay with your own too. What do you say to these people with that mindset, Rico? Where are they?
That just goes to show me that they're not intelligent. They're unintelligent.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes we think the people that think the most complicated and say the most words are the most intelligent. When really and truly, the most intelligent people are the most simple people. Some of these backwoods people living up in the mountains and living simple are the most intelligent people because they aren't dependent on what society or what the world has made us so dependent on. I think about it like this. It's a mindset. You can either segregate yourself because of a mindset or segregate yourself because of a color. See, if you segregate yourself because of a color, you may still end up linking yourself up with a prey.
Come on.
When you are with a predator and you're the prey. But you don't realize it because you're just looking at color. So I look at things like this, everybody, I guess, y'all want to go in the direction of the animal kingdom. So I'm going to go to the animal kingdom, which includes us.
Yes.
There is nothing more, I'm going to say, awesome. There has been nothing in the existence of mankind that surpasses the creation of life. Nothing we can experience, nothing more important, the most miraculous, the most amazing thing that we can ever imagine is this experience, this existence, life. So whether you are a human or a bird, a lion or a tiger, a fish, when you open your eyes for the first time coming from that darkness, you are so amazed at what you're seeing. You just got introduced into the world. Welcome to life. And so in the process of that, I imagine the first humans they probably did have to watch animals to find out what they needed to do to survive. See, that's the most important thing that we need to do in life. Our most important goal or objective is to survive, procreate, and continue this cycle of life. Birds even realize it. That's why they nurture their young. They go fly out and they find ways to protect them while they out searching for food. Lions do the same thing. Every animal, even though it can't speak, even though it can't talk, and we can't understand it, they got their own language. But that even the chicks or the birds or the cubs don't understand the growls and the howls of the animals or their parents. It takes a while for them to adapt and learn that. But one thing they do know to do is to eat. So they learn to cope and adapt. They learn these skills to learn to be able to survive. And they go by that for the rest of their existence. Us, our number one agenda is to live our best life, have fun. So now it doesn't matter that we haven't said not to procreate. 2 men and 2 women. I mean, and a lot of people might get offended by that. But you don't see 2 male dogs or 2 male birds trying to raise baby birds.
Exactly.
They can't even have baby birds because they understand the simple logic of what's important. And that is his life.
Yes.
That is life. So now I saw a video day before yesterday, maybe 3 days ago. Some people kept a little farm. They had some little animals they were raising. Had some chickens, had some sheep, and some roosters, right? And then some little goats. I guess some little goats or some little lambs. And man, all of a sudden this big eagle come down, man. And it came down on top of this chicken, man, and it was fixing to take it off. So the roosters went after the eagle, went to pecking at it. That eagle wasn't letting that chicken go. Then here come the little lambs. They came over there bucking at it like a goat. And all of the animals, it was one more animal, I can't remember what it was. It was 3 animals. All of those animals came together to save that community because they understood the number one goal was preservation of life. Yep, damn, exactly. All this other stuff. But see, even a little bird, a goat, a chicken, a rooster, understand to protect life and protect its young. And then we got adults, human beings that go out here and leave their children at home by themselves so they go to clubs, dope them up so they'll stay asleep while they go live their best lives. So, you know, when you have people talking about, you don't need to be with them because they the wrong color. No, I'm with him. I'm with whoever wants to preserve life and protect life.
Yeah.
All life. Those animals came together. They didn't say, well, we're going to let that eagle eat that chicken. They said, no, we fixing to protect all life in this community, in our community. So, you know, you have that predator and prey thing, you know what I'm saying? And Curtis sort of hit on it earlier with Noah's Ark and this and that. You know, there's a structure and an order that comes natural. There's way bigger, it's way more intelligent, but we have looked over that. And that is the order and the structure of peace. You have predator and you have prey. You don't have a lot of discord or violence until the predators come around.
Come on.
Other than that, all the animals live in harmony. And they live for the sake of the community. Even in the wild, you go to the Sahara or whatever over in Africa, you see those animals work together. You've seen wildebeest save leopards from crocodiles. You've seen, I mean, so many different animals rescued other animals that didn't look like it wasn't the same animal as it was because they didn't want to see death. They didn't want to see that kill. Even though it's supposed to be nature. It's supposed to be, you know, the pecking order for our survival. That's how it goes. But when you are the prey, you're not just going to sit back and watch it. So when people are saying, you know, you need to just associate with these people and that people, you need to segregate. Nah, man, it ain't based on color. It ain't based on class. It ain't based on what you got. It's based on what you're doing and what your purpose is.
Exactly. And it depends. And one of the things, it depends on a person's motivation and what they're trying to get to. Because I'm gonna tell you something. If I'm trying to get to a certain place, and I'm trying to get everybody to that place together, and there's somebody that don't look like us that could help us get to where we need to be, how smart, how wise would it be for me to say, no, you can't, you don't look like us. No, you can't come over here and help us get nowhere. Cause we're gonna do this together, and omit that person from helping us when their heart is just like our heart, and their intent is just like our intent, and their desire is for all us to make it together collectively. Toya, and I don't know if Donald's back. Don, if you're back, let me know. But Toya, what do you say to that? If we all got the same motivation, the same drive, the same aspirations to get to the same place where we can all live in peace and harmony, why should we omit somebody else out of that?
Yeah, I'm totally sold on just brainwashing things. Something's going on with us because we just not gonna do right. Mothers, we could just definitely talk about mothers and how to take care of the kids and how we interact, and you know, we're just not gonna do right. And you know, coming from my background. If anything, it's been proven why I shouldn't fool us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just hard to explain, you know, but I know that I don't judge from color. I judge from how you do me.
Yeah.
You know exactly. What I mean? I remember when I dated a white boy for a spell, it was a big issue for my parents. And don't get me wrong, you know, I want to marry a black man. But like I explained to them, if I've been with him and they don't treat me as good as him, like what you want me to do over here? Right? What you want me to suffer? Like if I had found one to do what I need them to do, I need to be with them just because they black, but he treats me better. Like no, it doesn't go like that. You know. So I think that in our community, not only are we influenced or encouraged that we're not right, But along with that, there are some actions that take place in our community that make us think that, you know, we ain't got to be dealing with just us. We can deal with outside people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I think differently when, like, the animals, you know, they probably don't, the wildebeest probably don't roll with the antelope on a regular day, but in the midst of tragedy, then the wildebeest gonna help, you know, just because of the nature's call. You know what I'm saying? But they all, like Rico said, they all dwell together in harmony in the wild or in, you know, the safari. And I think, you know, we humans, we complicate that.
Mm-hmm.
We dictate and we create up reasons why you shouldn't hang with black people, you shouldn't hang with white people, you shouldn't hang with this, you shouldn't hang with that. But we'll give all the glory and the praise to the child molesting singer. We give all the glory to the praise to the child molesting Catholic preacher.
Mm-hmm.
We give all the glory and the praise and forced to live with the human organization called defects.
Mm-hmm.
Forced care. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like we have these double standards in life that not only are influenced through culture and school and news, you know, like there's a difference. But when it comes to the real evil, we don't look at that. We don't look at the real evil of the unarmed police killers of unarmed people. But we focus on don't be friends with the person that's from Afghanistan because 12 Afghanis bombed 9/11 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I really think that as humans, you know, because animals, they can't differentiate things. They don't have reason.
Hey, Toya.
Right? So they kind of do what they do out of nature.
Hey, Toya.
But for us,
let me ask you this. If you found out, or if it's being said, Donald, I'm coming to you next, Donald. If you found out that there's this Caucasian brother and he just don't like black people. He's 50 years old, don't like black people. And you have a conversation with him one day. Y'all sit down, you work together, you're in the break room, and y'all have a conversation. You say, well, why don't you like, black people? And he say to you, well, when I was 8 years old, one of them stole my eraser off my desk. And I said at that time, I never deal with them again. Toya, I'm just gonna leave it like that and let you go where you go with this because there's so many different angles. But some of them have something like that that's embedded in them, and for the rest of their lives, they could not like a whole group of people because of the acts of one. And then you ask me, and then you ask the question, well, is that the only person that stole your eraser? He said, no, Susan, she stole my pencil. Well, what does Susan look like? She looked like me. She's Caucasian. Do you hate Caucasians too? No, I can't do that. I can't do that. Toya, talk to me.
Yeah, I don't like them kind of black people either, Bob. I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the last time I had Johnny by my table, he stole an eraser too. So I get it. But no, I'm gonna break it down. Come on, bro.
Let's talk about
it. Real alley back ghetto. What
Come
did
on.
you say?
Let's do it.
You said you don't like who, cause what? But so did what? So you're racist.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm gonna just go ahead and bust you out in your face. No, I'm not a racist. I just don't like black people. No, you're a racist.
Mm-hmm.
So how can Sally steal your pencil, but Sue stole your eraser, and you mad at all black people? Yeah, well, I'm mad at all white people too for what I did for my great grandfather. Let me just go ahead and chop your head off right now, then, if that's the case. Like I'm a person to where I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring it to you full force. It's amazing how many people, I'm telling you, we are in a trance or a spell or something, because some of this stuff that's simple, they be like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I didn't even think about my great grandfather killed hundreds of your people. What you said your last name was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, my people did bring your great granddaddy over here and make him have sex with all his brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews. But you hate black people though.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you break it down to him, it'd be like, oh, I never thought about it like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, so I was talking to somebody, I think it might have been Rico. I was talking to him yesterday. I'm like, yo, I feel like this is some kind of training or simulation or something, because some of the things that we do mentally, it doesn't make sense. And then when someone brings you something simple, like, well, did you ask Sue? Did she steal your eraser? Nah, I know she stole it. Okay, well, let me go ask Sue. When I asked Sue, no, well, actually it fell, and the same girl that picked up the pencil picked it up. Well, did you ask that? Well, no, I thought because Sally said that Sue. So you don't like Sue because Sally said because y'all think y'all superior. Like, see, that's why you got to just be bold, man. You got to be bold and be in the middle of all of that, because sometimes it be confusion. Anytime white people say they didn't like black people, it's because they lied about Johnny. Johnny was in there poking Marcy, and Marcy got caught because Johnny didn't want to leave his wife. And then she said that Sambo did it. So now they all don't like Sambo because Sambo done went in there and screwed my wife, because that's what they used to do. They used to go creep in there, and because my slave had sex with my wife, I hate my slave. But the slave didn't have no choice. He was trained to do what you told him to do. But now when it comes to having sex with your wife, you want him to think like a regular person. And no, I'm not going to do that, boss. But that's what y'all use him for. And vice versa. The lady going to get mad with the slave woman because by force, they're having sex with her. So now you want to go and treat these individuals all different. I don't like black people because my wife was going to do this. Like, come on with the jokes. We need to get to the bottom of it. If you don't like him, let me go ahead, get straight to the point, bust you out, prove you right or wrong. And once we have this conversation, then I'm going to know either you a devil or God. Because some people are scared of snakes. I get it.
Exactly.
But it isn't until you can face your fear to get over it. And if you're not, then like, it's like, yo, you a wimp if you can't face your fear, acknowledge it, and get over it. Period.
Good deal. Now I know I said I was gonna go to somebody, but I didn't write it down. I forgot who it was. So let me go to Donald Toussaint. Toussaint, and we got another call as well.
Donald, yeah.
Okay, good deal. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? We got a caller. We're coming to you next.
I'm just trying to figure out when you said that. Well, and just me. The person that everybody is familiar with, whether they believe that he's the Messiah, the Son of God, the prophet, whatever it is. There's this guy, awesome guy. I'm gonna put it like this. It's I'm not trying to take anything, but I'm just trying to put it like this. He's sitting down with his partners, and they feel a certain way. They're all together, right? They're all the same, I guess. He picked them out, his friends. And all of a sudden he says, look here, bro. I need to go through. And all of the time before that, because of these Jews, they would go around this certain city or town because it was a city full of mixed breeds, and they didn't like each other. But all of a sudden he breaks out in the conversation. He said, look here, I need to go to this town called Samaria. And I can imagine the look on their faces, because Jews and Samaritans don't fool with each other. But I think what was happening is there was a need to break down barriers that we create, not him, not God. They're never intended for us to hang around with our Muslim brothers or our Native American brothers.
Yes.
Most of the time you look at the panel, if we just don't tell where we come from, we find out we don't come from the same place. There are some that's Christian, some of them not.
Yeah.
Some of us will cuss you out in a minute. Others, we try to maintain a sense of righteousness. But here we are.
Yeah.
So what does that have to do with anything? I'm just saying, if we just be people, we can learn a lot from the animal kingdom, like Rico was talking about. You see a hippopotamus, and a deer is crossing the plain, and the alligator is trying to get to the deer, and here come the hippopotamus rescue We can learn a lot from stupid animals. That's what we call them.
Yeah, yeah.
But who's the fool when we can't get along and we grew up in the same neighborhood?
Come on.
Just because we don't look alike. That's stupid. So anyway, I mean, I'm just saying, we can learn. I was thinking about how if you ever want to teach man something, and just with my mindset, it creates all of this, the heavens and the earth, and the plants and the trees and the oxen and the ass and all of this together. And he takes man and he shapes him and he breathes him in the nostril. And you know what he say? Name him. You can learn a lot if you just name him. So he just watched him. And he said, that's a cat. Oh, that's a dog. That's an eagle. That's a buzzard. You know what? If you from a distance, you know what? You can't tell the difference from an eagle and a buzzard.
Yeah.
You'll confuse the two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of them will eat you up if you get caught in the wrong place. I'm just saying.
Good deal, good deal. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
You can talk to me. It's your brother and son, brother Pete.
Pete.
DKM Radio Morning Glow.
What's
an audience?
Yes.
DKM Radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pete, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Doing well, my brother. How about oneself?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We asking a question, man, and I want to hear your stance on it. How do you feel about that old verbiage, birds of a feather flock together? Do you believe that?
To a degree. Sometimes people are just in the crowd. They may have a relationship with one individual, an experience or two that has a kinship, and they're in the crowd, but they may not agree with the mindset of the crowd at all. They may not have clarity on the mindset of the herd. And they're there, but once they find out, they're not in agreement. So to a degree, yes, sir, but not an absolute no.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Hold right there, because we got some more stuff. I got some more stuff I'm gonna throw at you, man. I'm gonna go to Rico real quickly. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
That's legit what he said right there. You know, sometimes you can be loyal to people, and you don't understand why you're supposed to be loyal to them. You're just supposed to. Maybe it's because y'all went to school together. Maybe you grew up together, and y'all on two different paths, but you just still got this unconditional loyalty to this person. Maybe you're loyal to them because you believe in Trump.
Wow.
They say, hey, come on, take this trip with me. You're a Republican, I'm a Republican. Let's go up here and do a Republican march. Let's go up here to a rally. Then they get up there to January 6th and they're like, uh-oh. I voted for Trump. I'm a Republican, but I ain't with this. Y'all talking about doing what? You know what I'm saying? So that's when you realize then, man, screw this loyalty mess. I'm gonna kick it with who like to do what I like to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might both be Republican, but now I see y'all a little bit extreme, man. Y'all talking about doing some stuff that might get y'all killed. I don't think I want to be a part of that.
This is
we
too
go
much.
through that in our black neighborhood too.
Yeah.
We get with people every now and then. They might have us in the car when they finna do a drive-by. Y'all finna do what? I didn't know y'all came to do that,
Man, pull over, let me out of here.
Transparency, man. I ain't gonna even lie, man. The statute of limitations unpassed. But you know what I'm saying? I pulled a stunt one day, man. I'll never forget this. I'm one of them people that's big on principle. I don't care if you take $50 or $50 million from me, you're gonna get the same consequences if I set my mind to it. So it was a white guy. I'm pretty sure with me saying white guy, you had to guess he had to say some magic words.
Yeah.
He said some magic words, and I made sure I investigated, and I found him, and I hunted him down. I had him so pegged that I could have came to his house and laid in his bed and waited on him. He didn't even know I was on him like that. I needed to have his head. And I saw him. I said, well, you know what, God? If I come back now here in 30 minutes and he in my presence, I know you serving him to me on the platter, and I'm going to eat. So I did it. But the day that I did it, when I left, before I came back and seen that he was still there for me to eat, I had another friend. His name was Rico. And he came up to me, man, you know, I was going to get a cousin because I knew this one cousin I had, he was down with that type of mess. You talking about going to do this? I'm with it. So I said, well, I'm going to get him to drive for me while I hang out the window. But it was another friend walked up named Rico, just a regular guy. Now don't get me wrong, we cool, but some things I participated in and he didn't participate in.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't understand I had that side of me. So he came up to me, Rico, what you doing, man? What's going on? You want to smoke this J? I wasn't thinking about no joint.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about unloading that gun.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, come on. We'll fire it up. You want to ride with me? Yeah, I'll ride with you. He rode with me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when I say that dude, an hour later, when everything was over with, he still had that same joint behind his ear with his eyes booked the same way it was after he got in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he was too scared to say, let me out. But it was too late.
Yeah.
And I forgot he was even in the car because I was on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time everything was said and done, and I went and dumped the car, and I realized he was with us, I had to apologize to him because he didn't have nothing to do with this. He was, man, if anything bad would have happened and I would have ended up in prison, he was going with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't have a clue. The only thing he wanted to do was just smoke a joint with his boy.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know I was going down here to try to take this man out of this world. And he jumped in that car, man. I'm telling you, man, listen. When everything was said and done, man, and I finally looked at him and realized he was in the car, if you would have saw the look on his face, I knew then we ain't never hanging out no more. He ain't never getting a call with me no more. He don't know what to expect. So, you know, that just go to show you sometimes you have something in common with people, and you think y'all got a common bond, and then all of a sudden you say, well, you know what? They cool. I'll go ahead and go with them. The next thing you know, they out here pulling a stunt.
Exactly.
You say you fishing to do what?
Nah, you know, hey man, I'm going home, take me a nap, man. Y'all go ahead and I ain't got no time for that, brother. You know, that's a little too much for me, man. You know, that's a little too strong for me. That's a little too strong.
See, he was way out of pocket though, man. He was in the back seat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was too far away to be trying to walk and get back to his car. But I guarantee you, he hate that he even walked up and asked me. I'm telling you, man, to this day he keeps his distance.
You know, I know, we don't roll together like that. No, I can't do it. Toya, you want to talk to me? What's on your heart?
Well, you know, our parents then used to tell us, be careful. Don't be getting in cars with people. Don't be doing this, that, and the third. They've been telling us that, but our parents ain't never know what they were talking about. Not my friend. That's my friend. Not my friend. Hey, well, listen, don't go out there and hang with that girl. She loose. And they're going to be thinking you loose too. Mama. I don't do what she do. I don't sleep with boys like that. But then when they start calling you the hoe, because you ain't got to be doing it, but because they know she do, they do.
Yep.
They're going to think you're doing it.
Birds of a feather.
Hey, that ain't no eagle.
Yep.
Hey, that's a pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not a pigeon. I'm an eagle. Well, you're around here pecking on the ground of the Brooklyn streets.
Mm-hmm.
You got a place, eagle. But since you're doing what the pigeons do, we're going to call you a pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're acting pigeon-like.
That's right.
So we got to be mindful who we dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Are you dealing with, hey, don't be hanging with that boy. He pimp girl. Well, nah, I ain't no pimp, but he cool, though. He cool. But then, like Rico said, when it come down for the human trafficking thing, they finna come looking at you. Hey, you know this guy right here? Yeah, I know this guy. Are you roll with him every day? Yeah, well, he been human trafficking kids. So come on, kids, and ask you some questions.
Wow.
Cause see, when we young, we so stupid. We know more than the people that been here already.
Exactly.
Mom and dad and sister and brother, they've been here already 10, 12 long years, longer than us. But we gonna tell them, not Bebo. No, Bebo ain't no this, that, and the third.
Couldn't
and you
be.
go right over there and hang with Bebo, and they done told you. Don't go over there, and we get caught up.
Yep.
So we just have to pay attention. First and foremost, God is going to send us a sign You cannot believe in God if you want to, but he sent pigeons, birds, he sent donkeys to stand in the way. Stop. Don't go no further. He sent parents to say, hey, baby, no, we don't want you hanging with them. And at that time, now I'm not talking about these new parents that want to put you in the oven and bake you. I'm talking about them old parents. They cared about what was best for you first. And you can hang with Johnny because they knew Johnny's parents. They know what Johnny go through in the house. They know Johnny is a womanizer. They know Johnny mama is an alcoholic. And they know that product of that ain't gonna be no good for you. And I don't have to tell you about Johnny mama being no alcoholic and him daddy being that woman beater. Don't be hanging with him, baby. That's not your type. And we don't listen, and we try to defy the odds of what the elders have, and we get caught up.
Birds of a feather.
We got to be real careful with these birds of a feather. You better make sure it's a bird and not a snake.
Good deal. Good deal. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Dr. Cook? Dr. Cook, you there?
That's that mute button.
That's
that mute button strikes again.
That mute button got her. The
mute buttons of a feather flock again.
Exactly. Toussaint, what's on your heart? And Pete, coming to you next.
Don't get in the wrong car.
And it's amazing.
Car with Rico.
Exactly.
No, well, you don't have to be Rico because I was going home, and a guy that grew up. He grew up actually with my brother. And so I was going home. He lives about 20 miles from me, so I picked him up, and we going home. Well, he said, "You mind if I? you mind if I smoke?" Hold up, Brad. Hold up. Wait a minute. Not that. You can't smoke that.
Yeah.
But he in the car. Now here's the problem. That ain't the problem. He got a Ziploc bag with him.
Good Lord. So he ain't got no little bit. He ain't got no little bit.
No. But he in my car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was the longest ride I ever had. Cause you know, you no.
Now Toussaint,
no.
Did you see any police on the way between when you found out that he had that?
All of them. I seen all of them. Ones in the woods. I seen the ones in the woods. Sweating. What you sweating for, dude?
Man.
Hey, he must seen the one that ain't even clocked in yet. They ain't even clocked in. They ain't showed up for work yet. He seen them too. Okay.
I seen the undercover ones. They wasn't undercover to me.
No. Yeah.
I seen the bad. You know how them lights be in the grill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw them too. I saw them too. Because here's the problem. I'm just flocking with him.
Yeah.
But if we get trapped up, guess who's going to jail? Just spend just as much time as he does.
Exactly. Yep. Maybe even more.
I've seen so many people. I know some. That's why I did what I did with my son, because he couldn't hang out. Because some of my kinfolks, I'm gonna say it like that, spend years in jail because they were the driver. They had a car. Their parent bought them a car, and their friends went in the store. He didn't know. He was just sitting waiting for them. But they robbed the store. And guess who the getaway driver was?
Wow.
So, anyway.
I got one better than that.
What you got?
A young man in Brooklyn lent some boys some duct tape. Didn't know what they was going to do with it. They took the duct tape, went downstairs, bound, gagged and killed a man. So when the police came back and did the prints on the duct tape, who you think they went for?
Mm.
The boy didn't have nothing to do with it. Some guys came, knocked on the door, say, man, we need some duct tape. You want to roll? He said, no, we don't want to roll. He gave him the duct tape. Then went on about his business. And the police was coming to lock him up. And not only that, all the boys that he talked about, that he gave it to, turned state evidence on him. And he got the most time than anyone else by just giving them the duct tape. But when you know that you flocking with some hungry, angry, devilish wolves, you know you flocking with some demons, you don't give them nothing, man. That's why it's so hard to navigate through New York streets, because they treacherous, man.
Yeah.
They know who you are. They know what you're doing. They know you ain't got nothing to do with it. But it's called, that's it, the dog eat dog world. We ain't never seen a dog eat a dog. But the street, it's a dog eat dog world. So now here you commit a crime. You come get something from me. You go commit it. And then you tell them that I'm the one that committed the crime because of the evidence that they have to get you off and let them sit in jail. You was a dirty dog. You need to be in jail. And if you're on the streets, you ain't going to make it because you don't do that. But this conversation, again, is breaking down what our parents used to tell us. And now we're going over stories of kids who did not believe that boo-boo stank, who did not believe that birds of a feather flock together. But you see, you get the same consequences and the same results when you're not walking upright the way you're supposed to, trying to defy what your parents and your elders have told you.
And Public Citizen said to your story, Toy, he said, that duct tape situation is wrong. But if someone knocked on my door, asked for tape, I would say, kick rocks. Kick rocks. That's it. Brother Pete. Exactly. Pete, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Just last night, I had a situation where a young man who we had engaged with his formation, street tribe member, we had the fortune of sitting down with their leadership earlier this year with various numbers, and we had them to give clarity to their membership, what their mission statement and purpose was, what it stood for, according to their language. So I get a call last night, young man's telling me one of the guys want him to participate in a murder. And because of our engagement, this young man is working. I mean, he don't even smoke weed. He stopped smoking weed, stopped smoking cigarettes. He buying a car, about to get married, they get ready to buy a house. He done turned his life all the way around. He still rock with his tribe, but he understand what it's about.
Yeah.
We were able to run the block. He got in touch with me and say, look, man. I say, look, give me that dude information. Don't you do none of that. And thank you for calling me and holding true to what you say you about. But see, it's a process of how you do this. So now we're able to take that back up to those that are in leadership, and they're going to deal with that in the house. And by the grace of God, we prevented an unnecessary situation. This is why I say birds of a feather may be together, but they're not always together. He's committed in allegiance to his tribe, but he has a clear articulation and comprehension now of what it stands for. See, when leadership sat down with the members and went over everything and said, we don't participate in anything illegal. Nothing. That's not the narrative. They broke down their history all the way up to today. I'm sitting right there because this is how we engage them. In street groomers, this is what we do. But I was grateful, personally grateful, for leadership taking the time to come here and sit down with their people and give them clarity, because it energizes our effort when we engage them individually on the street. What are you doing? See? So no, I can't. That's why I say no. I can't say birds of a feather always flock together, because some are just together. It's many variables in that. My dear sister Toya, speaking about the culture in a city, the atmosphere, the temperature, the behavior. And here's one that knows these guys. He's not participating. He may have known, these guys kind of rough. They kind of sideways, little hoodlum minded. But, He looked past it, but he wasn't going to participate in whatever they was doing. Right? And look, you end up getting jammed up. Yeah, exactly. This is our reality, most definitely. But let's be clear. It's many variables. Yeah, home, the family life not even in place like it should be. I mean, it's holes throughout this whole process. Holes throughout the whole structure. When you go all the way back to the beginning, it's holes. The baby formed in the womb, and the father and the mother was on drugs when they got together and made baby don't stand a chance in as an embryo. Drawn on mal is a set up nutrition, off balance, DNA from the beginning. I mean, this whole thing is messed up. So
exactly,
that's just where it's at. And to be not deceived, we can win. Truth don't lose.
Exactly.
As long as you're standing for the truth, truth don't lose. I'm just gonna tell you, truth don't lose.
That's good. That's good. And there's so many different layers tied up into this thing, man, about this birds of a feather type situation. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? I know you got a lot that you're going to share with us right now.
See, he hit it on the head again. That story Toya told, I heard several just like that with the duct tape. Right now is last year, if you look at A&E, that was a show last year called Accused, Guilty or Innocent. And it was an episode about a girl, little young black girl, 15 years old, living with her grandparents. Fingerprints on some duct tape that her granddad had in his garage end up being used to tape a man up, an old man that was, they tried to say she was tricking with him, but she said she didn't even go in the house. But somebody taped him up, and when they taped him up, they put the tape around his nose and killed him. Well, they suspected a guy, and most likely this guy did it, but they didn't have enough evidence on him. But her, she got that conviction. She was 15 or 16 years old, very young girl. You know what I'm saying? They showed the process before she went to court and everything, and how they proved her guilt. And it was like, it wasn't beyond a reasonable doubt, because the way they proved that her fingerprints got on the tape, it didn't prove that she was there when the man got killed. So you see that situation going on, where people are innocent and just caught up in a bad situation, especially in our community. How many times do we go over to our partner's house that we grew up with to play video games or to just kick it, but they at the trap? They selling dope now. So many times we've seen situations where people got busted and went to jail because the police came up in the trap house while they were just sitting over there chilling, playing video games. Or they ended up dead because them jack boys came up in the dope house and they wanted to kill everything in sight for a little $2,000. And you one of the people now with the bullet in your head because you don't believe in selling dope. But this your boy. So, it gets to a point where you say, well, we already know what people are doing, but we'll still accept them. Which I don't say it enables what they're doing, but when you accept them, it almost makes it okay. That means, okay, well, I'm going to still accept what you're doing. And I also got to accept the consequences that come with me being around you, knowing what you're doing. But there's somewhere back of your mind, something convinces you to say, well, you know what? Overlook the danger or the consequence. Overlook I'm gonna say the chance or the risk that may happen. Why? Because you don't want nobody to think you better than them now. See, we'll hear that in the heartbeat. Oh, you better than us now? Why you don't come back to the hood no more? And so what it is we'll come back and we'll come to the hood. Look, I lowered my standards and reconnected with my family, and that was the worst thing I could have did. The worst thing I could have did was lower my standards and reconnect with my family, because they were totally different and opposite of what I did. And I started adapting behavior. I picked up the crack game from somebody that I really didn't accept at first, or that I had changed and got away from, because I knew that we were going in two different directions. But sometimes you don't want to feel like you were better than people. You feel guilty because those people that are selling the drugs are out here not doing what they should be doing, or something totally different than what you're doing, are telling you, oh, you better than me now? I remember when you was this and that. And so it's a guilt thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, we are loyal to people, and we give them that unconditional loyalty because we will feel guilty if we don't leave them alone. But in the end, if you don't want to end up on first 48, If you don't want to end up as the killer of the victim on first 48, if you don't want to just be associated with the crime or just be in the car with the one that's selling that dope, then you have to go ahead and really just, they say you ain't supposed to judge people, but I'll be doggone if I won't. I'm going to judge. If I know you got a reputation for out here raping women or touching women or being violent or just starting trouble, you know what I'm saying? I'm not fixing to hang with you, but, the society we live in now, they actually embrace people that's rebellious like that.
Yeah.
Outspoken, her. I ain't gonna even say outspoken, just loud and boisterous. If you think about it, a lot of the women in our community, not women of the excellent standard, but I'm gonna say women in the lower standard of life. You know what I'm saying? The women in the neighborhood that like to date the dope boys, and they know the dope boys got 5 or 6 different girlfriends, but you know what? They got to have them too because his name is popping. They chasing clout. You know what I'm saying? And they actually taking a risk themselves of being the murder victims when they land up in the trap pregnant.
Exactly. And Public Citizen said, I agree. I try to avoid the type of birds that crap all over everything. I try to avoid the type of birds that crap all over everything. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good morning. This is Bishop.
Bishop, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm blessed. How you doing?
Hey, blessed as well, sir. Birds of a feather flock together. Do you believe in that? Do you buy into that?
Yeah. I believe in that old parable, that old phrase, birds of a feather flock together. I will bring it to the scriptures. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, evil communication corrupts good manners. And I was listening to Rico as he was talking, and and he really hit the nail right on the head. Sometimes we'll try to conform to a lower standard to fit in because of the criticism that somebody may be trying to, impose on you or apply. Or you think you better than me. I remember when you did, and many times I have preached that very sermon. We worried about how people look at us, and instead of them looking at us in a positive light, we prefer, or rather they look at us in a negative light because we want to conform to what they got going on. But I have never cared about what anybody says too much about me, from a little boy to where I am now. So I chose to do different. I chose to be Greg and not this person. I didn't want to be like the Jones son or the Smith sons. I just wanted to be who I was, and I walk in my truth. And with me doing that, that allowed me to excel in different areas and be able to accomplish a whole lot more than those who chose to go down the wrong path. And that's what I always learned, and I'm ever more thankful to my parents who always told me, be yourself. Don't try to be like nobody else. And a phrase I adapted and I passed it on to each one of my children. And it says, success is not given, it's obtained. Be careful what you do, because as you get older, more responsibility falls upon you.
Yes, it
and
does.
They still recite that today, and they pass it down to their children, because I'm trying to instill a positive mind frame. And with this platform, and individuals like Rico and Leonard and Pete and Tori with the T and Kay and so many other women and men that get on this program, they spit out that knowledge that needs to be disseminated through this type of network. So thank you for what you do.
Praise
this
God.
is a great topic, and I'm just waking up, so to speak, and the first thing I want to do is call into the show, just here.
Praise
I
God.
love what Rico was saying, and he was 1,000% accurate, and let people know, yeah, I did this, but I realized, forget them, I got to focus on me. And I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. One more time. 508-924-3521. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. What's on your heart? Toya. I think that mute button got her. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Toya.
My bad. Yeah, no, I'm saying, I don't know. I've always been something different, because if you think I'm better than you, you said that, not me. I didn't say I was better than you. You said that. And if you think because I'm not gonna go out here and do something foolish that you want me to do. You're gonna pressure me into doing something. You got another thing coming. So I don't get moved easily. Not what somebody say or call me the name. You this, yep, and you need to know when you get caught, I'm a snitch too, straight up. Because if I'm not doing it and you got me into doing it, I'm telling on you. Period. See, I've always been my own kind of person. I ain't never been no weak, wimpy, soft, squishy human that if somebody say something, oh, well, I gotta do it because you called me a chicken. Now I'm gonna be a chicken and I'm gonna be a free chicken because I'm not doing that. But if I got my mind made up on something that I want to do, I'm gonna do that too. You know, but these are the things. Somebody need to put their phone on mute, have a whole conversation.
That's because I just muted.
These are the things that we have to understand in our communities. That's how people get caught up. That's how your kids get caught up. That's why I said earlier, if you're not influencing and encourage your child and who God say they are, then that means any snake, any bird, any demon can come by, drop something out there, and here they're gonna lose, steal, kill, or destroy their life. So no, we gotta be stronger than that as humans. I ain't never seen one antelope go tell the other antelope, yeah, let's go run in front of zebras or let's go run in front of lions and see if we can get away. Like what? Only humans. We the only ones that gotta do defying odds. And again, all these other people got locked up for illegal activity. But no, not me. I'm different. I'm gonna do this illegal activity and I'm gonna get away with it for the rest of my life. And my people are not gonna get shot up. Like the things we know happen and you still wanna go in that environment. That's what I'm saying. It's some kind of brainwashing, some kind of device, because some of the things that us humans do, it just doesn't make any sense, man. And if we're talking about how animals and they're so smart and they're up under us and we're doing these silly, foolish things, then we need to be looking at where these things are coming from, man. But no, it's a great platform, and this is why we need to have these conversations so people will know. You don't have to be peer pressured no matter what age. And if they kids going through it, trust and believe there are adults that are peer pressured, that do things that they don't want to do because they feel like they need to fit in. And you need to know that they can be snakes and birds playing with you. You better do what God say.
I'll be like Bernie Mac. I tried to, Judge, he did it. I saw him when he did it. I tried to call you, but your line was busy. That's Bernie Mac said, I tried to call you, Judge, but your line was busy. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Snitch. You're a snitch. I tried to call you, but your line was busy. Bernie Mac was a funny fellow, man.
Yeah, man. You know he had his way of, even if you wasn't a cuss up per se. I know you knew what he was talking about when he say you want some milk and cookies.
Exactly. Hey, Rico, I think Donna's having a Bernie Mac moment. Go ahead, Tucson.
No,
yeah, I hear.
I mean, we mimicking. We mimicking, and I don't know. I'm gonna look that word up later to find out if I put it. But we want to be like other folks. We want to be like, we get in a crowd, and it's kind of like when I was in college, and my brother-in-law and my sister and my other brother-in-law and sister and a couple of others, we decided to go down to New Orleans, and we was the birds that was flocking together because we was family. But we wind up on Bourbon and Canal, and on Mardi Gras, we just going to Mardi Gras, and we wind up taking a left and taking a right, and we wind up in the middle of the gay parade.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
And I ain't been since, by the way. I'm just saying, man, it don't take but one incident, one moment, one thing, and you'll be identified with certain type of birds. You may think it's an eagle, but you devouring raw meat and stenched and smelly and been there for a while, and you find out you dining with the buzzards. Because we are a society that just we don't even know we foul no more.
Yeah.
We just in the crowd. We just flying. Yeah, I see you. You going south. Well, I guess I better go south too. It sure is getting cold over here. And then not only that, we ain't even start talking about our religious organizations. I can't say Christian. I can't say nothing. All you got to do is have two. You can have a whole song or a whole hour message, and you can say Jesus 2 times, and you can draw a crowd. And the Lord and God be like, I don't know none of y'all.
Exactly. Wow.
So we just flock to things, man, just because it sounds good. We got to learn how to be individuals. I'm just saying.
Birds of a feather flock together. Let's stay right there. Bishop, you still with us? Bishop, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Birds of a feather flock together. And Tucson just brought something to the conversation, and I want to come to you with it. What about the cliques in the church?
They come out of the church, non-church. You hang with folks in the church that ain't hitting on nothing. You come in with one good intent to hear and receive the word of God. Next thing you know, you start hanging out with some gossiping sister or some hypocritical brother or some lying member. And next thing you know, you fall into that same category with them. So the topic, birds of a feather flock together. It don't matter whether idiots may be. You hanging out with them. And man, you threw something at me. Why do people have this complete misconception? Everybody in the church say.
Wow, Bishop. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. You know that devil don't care what title you wear. He gonna do his job, and guess where he coming? He already got cooking them that always at the crack house, at the whole house, or in the alley, or at the bar all the time. Guess where you gotta come now? He gotta come to that thing y'all call the church. And then he got to infect them folks that's in that place that we call church. Well, we're supposed to be there to try to get a connection with the Almighty. So, yeah, birds of a feather flock together. That's in the church, too.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm so glad that, man, I have never been one to worry about hanging out with everybody. It's so crazy. When church would be over, this before I even became a minister. When church was over, I'm shaking hands, heading out the door, getting in my car. I'm in the car with the children, waiting on my wife, because she in some kind of sisters meeting or whatever she got going on. And I'm sitting in the car. I want to be me. I don't want to be you.
Yeah.
And that's just it. But did you open your text message?
I did not. What you got? Okay.
I just sent you something.
Okay. I'll take a look at it. We're ready to close out here in a minute.
Yeah.
Let me read.
You need to look at it now, because I dedicate that to Toya.
Oh Lord, what is it?
Open it up.
Hold on for a minute. Let me read what publicist, he said. One thing about finding the flock you fit into is the problem that we sometimes think we are in the same flock just based on superficial stuff. We should focus on values more than anything. Toy, you want to see why I look at this text the bishop done sent for you. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I just thought about something. I just thought about a comment Rico Ray. Rico May said a comment that what you think you better than somebody, and I think that be the problem. We don't want to think that we better than nobody, and we know that our parents raised us one way. but we still go and befriend these individuals because we don't want to think that we're better than anybody. We want to embrace people and think that they are the same. And that's when we wake up of the flock and see that we don't have to do what they do, but people are judging us like the flock. You hang out with drug addicts, they're going to think you're a drug addict, period. You hang out with prostitutes, you're going to think you're a prostitute. You understand what I'm saying? But there are oftentimes early in our life that we think that we can hang with these people and not be overshadowed or overbarred by who they are because of who we are. And that's how we get caught up. And by that time, just like a relationship, you already caught up because they might be prostitutes, but this is the thing. Matter of fact, a child got taken from her father. The father called the police. The police didn't get him. So the father went and got the child on her own. When he got the child back home, the child ran away back to the person who abducted her. Now, if you're the pimps and the prostitutes and your abductor treats you better than the people in your very household that say they family, if the gang members treat you better than the flock you already with, i.e. your family, then that might be the cause on why you keep going to flock with them people. See, this is a catch-22 kind of thing. You know, if you're leaving one flock to go fool with another, but you're leaving your family to go fool with another, then what's going on in the flock that you are from? To go with the flock that you don't know nothing of, and then you get caught up, and then, oh well, yeah, you hanging with the bad kids, and if you don't want to get caught, you're gonna get caught with the bad kids. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be real careful about how we feel about people and what flocks we choosing, because it's real. You know, this is not a one-sided opportunity. You come from a flock, go to another. So we got to look at both flocks that we coming from before we start judging. But absolutely, I'm interested to see what I got was dedicated to me. Is it a song? Is it some money?
No, look, I'm gonna actually share it. I'm gonna share it with you. I'm gonna send it over to you. But Bishop crazy. Look, something wrong with Bishop. Something wrong with him. Something wrong with him. Something wrong with him, y'all. Something wrong. Something wrong with him.
Wrong with me too. Hey, the flock on this channel. Something wrong a little bit with all of them.
It's something along that I can listen to the sound of it. I can only look at it. But I bet you want to explain what it is.
When Toy says she ain't no chicken, if everybody remember the cartoon, Super Chicken, she ain't no chicken.
Before our time.
So I said she's super.
Look at
she ain't no average chicken.
Look, before our time. We don't know nothing about no super chicken. That is a little bit before our time, brother.
Hold up now.
Just a little bit before our time.
They had super chicken out when you were a little boy. I know that.
I ain't never heard of that. I ain't never seen.
I remember the chicken hawk. The chicken hawk. I remember the chicken hawk.
She's talking about false on Leghorn. And the chicken hawk.
What I say? What I say? What you say there, boy? What I say? What you say there, boy?
Right.
Yeah, but Toya, she's a tough woman. And man, I have so much respect for her because she ain't the average woman to let some guy or some woman manipulate her, control her. She's an individual, and when you run across people like that, you can't help but respect now. She's what I call hard, not hardened. She just ain't gonna take no junk. And if I can, I talked to a young lady yesterday who was going through a situation with her spouse. And, you know, she called me and I told her, I said, now you have two options. You can either stay there and continue dealing with the abuse, or you can leave and free yourself from that situation. Because there are
she can call me, I'll come beat him up.
See
that song, you see that? See, that song is so fitting that I just said her. Because anytime somebody needs, they call for super chicken. But I call her
Enrico, he called her the super chicken.
Hey man, it's tough, man. That's one of my favorite cartoons, bro. I love it. I really do.
I gotta go watch it now.
Yeah, that's not a thing of disrespect. That's the thing. I love that cartoon. I can sit down and watch it. I was watching that as a grown man, as old as I am.
And you are old, brother. Let's go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart? Rico, coming to you next.
You know, I'm gonna get you for that, right?
Yes, sir. I already know. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I don't know. Good conversation today, man. I don't know.
Sir.
Birds of a feather flock together, but I like a crowd of one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's good.
If it's not flying in my direction, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have. As a matter of fact, I don't like flying at all.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Sometimes I get in my car and just drive where I gotta go.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna tell you, I love to fly, man. I love that idea of just flying, getting there quicker, and they ain't got to worry about it. Yeah, I love to fly. Yeah, I'm just me. Rico, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
No, that phrase, birds of a feather flock together, man, you know, that's one of those in general phrases that can actually apply to street code and moral codes.
Mm-hmm.
And you very rarely find something that can parallel those two, because moral code and street code normally contradict themselves. They contradict each other. They counter each other.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, when you see that can happen and how easily it can happen, then you ask yourself, well, what makes an eagle start flying with pigeons?
Mm.
And, you know, it's like I can almost identify every time I flew and I decided to go fly with pigeons. You know what I'm saying? When I got stuck with those pigeons, still realizing I'm an eagle. I could pretty much name 90% of the time that I lowered my standards or dumbed myself down. I could go all the way back to first grade where I misspelled a word on purpose just to sit over there with my friends that was the dummies. I knew I wasn't no dummy, but I actually misspelled the word wrong intentionally because I didn't want to feel like I was better than them. That was way back in first grade. So, you know, that goes to show you how peer pressure and influence works. But then you got to put the desire in there too. You know what I'm saying? Every human being has desires or vices. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not careful, if you get too consumed with those vices, you will start flying with pigeons because you see what it is they want. You know what I'm saying? Like some people's vices is money. Some people's vices ain't money, but some people's vices are cars. So they still got to get the money to get the cars. You might lower your standards and end up hanging out at that trap that your parents told you not to hang out at. You might end up hanging out with them relatives that's selling dope that your parents told you don't hang with them. They doing bad. You know you don't want that trouble. You don't want them consequences. And, you know, your whole life, you might have been like, you know what, man, I ain't with that. Say no to drugs. I grew up on Nancy Reagan saying say no to drugs and all this and that, dairy and all that. But then all of a sudden you start thinking about, man, I could get this car and I could paint it and put me some speakers in it. So you start getting influence. You get weak to influence. You know, it ain't even peer pressure. That's just influence because you have these desires, you have these vices that you want to get hold to. So you start accepting. Well, you know what? It'll be all right. It won't hurt if I just sell crack for a year. So you start finding the ways to justify the ends. You start justifying all this stuff. You start doing it before you know it. You don't want to be associated with these birds. You already done said, man, I ain't like them. I'm better than them. I'm about my education. I'm about this and that. I'm better than them. I don't like messing with whores. But before you know it, you start wanting that. You want that end goal. So you start. It's like you have a desire to either be recognized. Sometimes people want to be recognized and they ain't getting recognized the right way. So they go and find the easier way to get recognized. What's the easiest way to get recognized? Get some money. Show your ass. You know, I mean, so before you know it, you will end up start doing those things that you consider that's beneath you. You know, I consider that dumbing yourself down. And I couldn't even put a title on that, but I always remember different times that I did the same thing. So that's how easy it is to get caught up, even when you do know that you are not like them. The minute you start joining in with them just to get that little goal accomplished that you're trying to get, you might not be cool with, you might not want to get a woman no crack to get no sexual favor. But you're still going to be associated as a dope boy. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, I mean, you know, you got to accept what comes with it. When you decide that you're going to embrace something just so you can meet your goal or get your agenda accomplished, then you got to accept the repercussions that come with it. So, yeah, birds of a feather flock together if you choose to fly with them birds. If you're gonna be an eagle, stay an eagle.
Stay an eagle. Because I ain't never, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I've never seen an eagle on the ground picking corn with chickens. I've never seen it. You know, I've never experienced that. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you missed today's show and would like to catch it in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. Bishop, can I get you the prayers out, sir?
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, we come before you this hour, giving thanks and praise to you, Lord God, for all that you do and have done. We ask, Father God, that we'll bless those, Lord God, who stand in need of your blessings, comfort their hearts and minds, strengthen them where they're weak, build them up where they've gone down. Lord God, if we'll continue to bless DKM Media Group, Bahim, and all that call in and those that listen, Father God. We trust and hope that the words that we speak are edifying to their ears. Lord God, this prayer we pray in your name, Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. And amen. It's been a good broadcast. I want to tell you, if you are an eagle, stay an eagle. If you are a chicken, stay a chicken. If you are what's that bird? A dodo bird, like Donald Toussaint said, be a dodo bird. But my thing is this right here: know who you are, know what your lane is, stay in it.
I'd rather be a phoenix.
A phoenix rising from the dust like a phoenix. You rise again and again. You continue to rise. Still still I rise. But listen, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:06. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. Get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be? Oh yes, won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Love you and take care of each other. Stay blessed.